We are live. Okay. Now I don't know if anyone like will come today to the live, but I did want to talk about my Oracle book series and how Fortune's Coalescence is out now on Amazon and it completes the series. So there's 3 books in a series. Now, I guess right off the rip, I want to say that Amazon notified me and said that because these are technically medium content books, hey, Ange, they're medium content books that they don't qualify for like a series. So like if I were to share these books, they don't really, there's no longer like a series page for them, but they will still show up. Like if you click on my name on Amazon, they'll still all be there. So anyway, Fortune's Coalescence is out and it completes the synthesis series. I got the other 2 out just to, I guess, to show off. But you already ordered it, Ange? Did you already order it? That makes me so happy. Technically, I think you might be the only one that I know of that ordered the second book. So I love you. But it's still out, and this one is called Drafts, Crafts, and Rafts. And it's cool because I tried to come up with these subtitles, right? Like the first one, and like kind of like we talked about in the other lives about this series, that this is kind of like this alchemical process going on. Like the first book is Guides, Strides, and Tides. You know, like we're going through the motions, we're starting something. We have guides to guide us through things, and some of the oracle entries in the first book is very much about that. It's about the starting of a journey, the journey in and of itself, right? And then the second book is Oracular Synthesis, and this is what happens in the middle of the journey. We're getting visions, we're getting dreams, and we're getting lessons, right? And so that's very much, ooh, these are glossy, whatever. But so these visions are actual visions and your actual dreams of mine, but then they kind of represent things that happen in the middle of like I guess you could call a hero's journey, right? And then in this alchemical process of the white mixing with the black, okay, in some kind of crude way, then we have drafts, crafts, and rafts, right? These are actual things that like towards the end of the journey, you are contacting, you're making things, you're crafting things, you're making actual rough drafts of things or final copies of things. And then when you've done that, some of your creations and your creative endeavors can feel like rafts, like life rafts, things that you float on and guides you to another portion of the journey, right? So now I did want to kind of touch on the fact that these covers are pretty primitive looking. So they're meant to look like that. They're not meant to look like book covers because I didn't want someone to stumble across them and think that they're, I don't want to say real books. I don't want to say that. I don't want anyone to think that they are like this is like, all words. They're supposed to be like oracle decks in a book. So the covers are pretty. I mean, if you look at the difference, this is the cover of my poetry book. I mean, this looks more like a book. So these are supposed to look kind of crude in nature. Now, last time we kind of went into this like kind of cool thing where I asked people to pick a letter and I'll choose something, but there were so many letters that didn't have entries. So I went ahead and pulled some of my favorite ones. And I don't know. They don't have to be like necessarily favorites. It's just like some of the good ones that I wanted to share. It's quite a lot. I think that in this same kind of concept, there's like 110 images for all of these books. So yeah, like overall, there's like just under 350 oracle entries in all 3 books. So yeah. I don't know if we'll get through all of these today, but we'll try. Okay. And I probably won't read anything. I wrote an introduction, but I did that for every one of the books, but I'll read the last sentence because I like the last sentence. Fortune's Coalescence acts as a permission slip for oracular conception. So we're starting a journey, we're inside the journey, and then we're ending the journey and starting either a new journey or whatever. You know, I heard about, I don't know what's going on in Canada right now, Ange, but there seems to be like this strike going on. And are things like just not getting through the postal service there now because of the strike? Like anything doesn't get through? That's crazy. That the whole postal service seems to be on strike. Whereas like you were saying, like sometimes your Amazon stuff will get there to you, but maybe they work outside of the postal system. I guess thinking about it now, because sometimes I'll order something from Amazon and they'll come in my mailbox, right? But then other times they'll come on the truck. So you just like never know. Oh yeah. With the holidays too, it would be completely insane to not have some form of postal service happening during the holidays. I'm just guessing. Like, can you just envision like this the Grinch mail room happening? That's what I think about. But I guess it's nice that the government's stepping in. Yeah, it is. I use FedEx for Lulu. The book company that I use to, like, these don't have a barcode because they're not author copies from Amazon, because I needed a copy for like promotions, marketing, and pictures. I have to order these from Lulu, which is a print on demand book company. And yeah, like they don't have, they're like proof, basically they're called proof copies because they don't have a barcode, but they use FedEx, and it's really pricey to ship stuff to me from them. But yeah. Okay, let's see. I guess we'll go in order of my post-it notes here. I'll just go ahead and I'm going to share the images. Like, okay, so every entry is just like an oracle, that there's an image, a drawn image, and then a message or a poem or whatever you want to call it. So, and that's for every page. So I've got array of wilted innocence. And then the entry says, as we age, innocence shreds, which I talk about a lot on the channel, actually. It wilts like the body. Entropy sets in. All the parts of ourselves coalesce. We remember the youngster, the rebel, the caregiver. In a disembodied moment of clarity, we see ourselves as a wilted plant. We are also the observer. We can still love the dying parts of ourselves, and we should. For who will plant the seeds for the others? Well, it starts out really nice. Aw. Oh, are you still waiting on Immaculate Immortality? Or did you order that one? Yeah, this makes 4 books that I have coming out, or that I have out. Okay, this one is really cool because I use my own, like, I set it up with, like, I guess my own bar stools for my kitchen. This one's called the Atelier of Angst. And it says, cutting up paper hearts to hang in the atelier of unrequited, hopeless romantics. Workshops are brimming with the longings of love. Colored paper and lace and glue sticks to fingers tingling with frequencies felt by every other person occupying ateliers of angst. So it's kind of like you're sitting in this like atelier, which is like a studio, and you're cutting up all these paper hearts. It's like an homage to the hopeless romantic, you know, like someone's just sitting there on the bar stool, you know, like that, like he loves me not thing with the flower, and someone's doing this with paper hearts, like making all kinds of paper hearts. So that's my homage to my own hopeless romantic that I have in my, you know, in my psyche, because I very much am one. Oh, I like this one. This one is, I needed a candy one. Something that's like, in all the other books, I wanted something that was kind of food related, but I didn't want food. Some of them were food. Like I think the poet's dinner was like a bowl of alphabet soup. Yeah. So I like incorporating food, but I knew I needed like a candy one. So I named this Big Bang's Candy. Swirling and twirling, lick the sweet sticky juice from creation's essence. Down to a stub, implode on aching stomachs, current ages dawning. Glorious colors mix on tongues, fabricating realities foreseen. Suck from nectars, drowning the beginning in the light, coming from voids. And that this little swirly sucker thing is supposed to be like the universe and the swirling vortex of like the Big Bang. I like this one. Some of these are so good. I also have a bookmark page for you guys for later. I'll probably post that in the chat in a little while, where you get like 6 of them that you can print and make like bookmarks out of. This one looks like, okay, so to give you some backstory, when I was a kid, I used to climb trees, but we had these like ropes because my dad always brought home ropes from work, and we would hoist laundry baskets we would make our own pulley systems and launch laundry baskets way high up in the tree to like bring us stuff. And they would be like dolls and action figures and whatever like we could think of. We would put stuff in the basket and hoist it up to whoever was up in the tree. So this kind of takes me back, but this is called the Entrapment's Mechanics. It's like a laundry basket pulley system. You know, like you're trapping something in a laundry basket. And it says, intricate pulley systems attached to trappings of the mind, body, and spirit. Laundry baskets ambush ignorant outliers. Pay attention to the shadows cast by nets cast by others. Hoist or release those that would shame you for attached strings. And it's all about getting caught by something, and the shadow catches you like a laundry basket comes down, and it's like you're getting entrapped by, you can get entrapped by others and your own psyche. So pay attention to the shadows cast by nets cast by others. Hoist or release those that would shame you for attached strings. Okay, one more time, just because I'm talking about it. This is like a floorboard. What do you call it? A floorboard safe? It's meant to look like a floorboard safe. And it's called Fortune's Chamber, which has a lot. The Fortune's Chamber is like what you want to put your treasures in, right? Creaky wood floorboards are worn down by feet closing in on hidden chambers. Nails once held them fast to solid foundations. Now holes grace the wood, home to tiny insects that will infect crevices manufactured by hordes. Lift to seek out the treasures from the abyss. Do fortunes belong under floors or mattresses? And it's basically asking like where you put your treasures. Where are you going to put your treasures? Where are you going to lock your stuff up? Are you going to, is there a special hidden place where you would put your stuff? Kind of reminds me of that movie Heavyweights, where they're like, they got candy in like every secret chamber. There was one more in between these. Hate's Barrel is good. Hate's Barrel. Golden Rules Patina. I did want to share this one. Okay, I'll share this one. This is the Golden Rules Patina. The golden rule being like, you know, do unto others as they would do to you. Whatever, I guess. Okay. There's patina on the trophy of the Golden Rule. Have we forgotten it? Are we lost to the times of chivalry? Bouncing through humanity with rotten dew, crumbling, trampling? Do unto others? Now? Whispered in placid tones meant for children who think with their selfishness? And it's how it's kind of raw, how we've changed the Golden Rule now to be this crutch that we tell to children, you know, and we, as we grow and as we, you know, gain this kind of adulthood narcissism, we sometimes don't think that it applies to us. We don't think that the Golden Rule applies to us anymore. We think that it's just something that we say to pacify. Oh, I didn't show you that. So like this arrow is like do unto others as you would do, right? And there's this like patina on it, like it's like this green oxidation. It's pretty. This is one of the profound ones, the profound messages. I liked this one a lot because some of these mean so much to me about growing up and finding what's still relevant today, you know. Oh, this was something that my husband was talking to me about, and it made me make a card, an entry out of this, and it's Hate's Barrel, and it's about like he was describing hate to me the way he thinks of it, and it's kind of cool because when he thinks about hate, he thinks of it as a barrel with a hole in it, and how, you know, hate is like if you hate something and it's all together hating something, you've got a hole in the barrel, and no matter how much love and good stuff you pour into that barrel, some's always going to leak out. So you've got to find a way to heal the barrel or something like that. It looks like that. And I've got the stuff pouring out of the barrel. Hate is but a word that happens to feel bigger than all the rest. It can only be alchemized by love, right? If hate consumes, it acts like a drill. It will set upon the barrel of your loves a hole so small that no matter how much love you pour in it, it will always drain out. Fix the leak. Throw the barrel out and get one that can be filled with love. Hey, Dylan. Thank you. Oh, this one is my rendition of like humble pie. Okay, so I drew a pie. Just a slice of pie waiting on you, but it's called Humility's Possession. Take a slice of warm pie cooling on the windowsill of forgiveness. Eat from juicy fruit compote's apologies, custard remorse, and freshly whipped atonement. Dough rolled out in love, carefully folded over deliciously harsh words. Pies are baked at optimum temperatures of mitigations rendered gracefully. It's like my recipe for forgiveness, a recipe for how people will be humble. Just simple fairy tale looking, very Disney-esque pie that I seem to have going there. Oh. Let's see. Some of these were really, really good. I mean, I love them all. They're just like, some of these are like all my babies. Here's love's toe tag. Love is dead. It lies on cold metal, awaiting morticians of hate to mark up fake smiles and cheekbones. Toe tags hang from limp appendages, an apathetic smudge of dates on their surface barely remembered. What was love's date of birth? What was its date of death? What kills love? What keeps it alive? this is kind of like a weird message of, I was trying to think of like, where did love begin? Like, what was its date of birth, you know? And what could possibly kill it if it were this, sentient being? And I drew quite literally love's toe as a toe tag. So, this one was, this one's good. This is the Misanthrope's Tightrope. A funambulist walks gently over a tightrope made of life, precariously suspended over caverns of humanities that they hate. Having lost faith in much of humanity, they hold scissors in one tight fist. At any moment, they will cut the strings that have become their salvation. With hope remaining, yet a strong contender, they hold a balancing wad in the other hand. Balancing versus tension. Fall over stimulated peoples who didn't look up in awe. Again, this is really a tough message because it's like basically someone's on the tightrope of life, and they hold this kind of hope and despair juxtaposition. The wand, the balancing wand here, is their hope because they want to keep going and find the other side. But then the other side is a pair of scissors. Like when humanity becomes so filled with hopelessness for humanity, they have the scissors at their disposal to cut the string. And so really, some of these are like really harsh messages, but there's the Misanthrope's Tightrope. It's this really harsh balancing act of life that seems to be plaguing people, plaguing humanity. All right, the next one is Moral Cream. Okay, it's an ice cream maker. Churning in the maker of creations. Morals revealed and served soft, creamy generational morals set by those that came before. How do we make our own if there's no recipe? Milk here, rock salt there, maybe a pinch of essence is involved. Is it not love to harbor feelings of inadequacies, making up the compass of morals laid down by kin? I like that. And it kind of takes me back to like a time when my family used to make ice cream in like an ice cream maker. What's this one? Oh, this one's about the earth. Okay. I'm going to take a drink. So what do y'all think so far? Like, sounds like I got a couple of ones marked about hate and the hopelessness of humanity. I guess it's more about like this. See, this book being the third one, and like we're ending a journey, possibly starting a new one about rebirth, right? And it kind of feels very centered in humanity because we grow out of a lot of things, and there's a part of our adulthood that feels like we're not children anymore, you know? Is it worth it, right? You know, what life really entails, right? I don't know. And the world at large, like how we interpret the world at large, you know? Now this one's called Negligent Absurdity. The globe, the earth, is contained within a large chalice. In a creator's negligence, the oceans are spilling out over the rim. Soon the lands will follow the salty seas. How do we contain large masses in constant flux? Each tide's ebb and flow generates cataclysmic results. Someone's absurd tale was written with water-soluble ink. that has descended to the bottom of the cup. And this is like the globe spilling out over the chalice walls, you know. It's pretty scary. If you thought about like if we were really this like bowl of like, you know, we were this giant chalice and it was like constantly pouring out over the edge. It'd be kind of scary to think about. Let's see. This one. Oh, look, I like him. He reminds me a lot of Atlas, you know, the holding up the world, but he's holding a bubble. So it's more about like this. He's holding up this bubble because, you know, like any sudden movements and that this thing's gonna pop, you know. And it's called Omnipotence Consensus. The all-powerful being has much responsibility. It clings faithfully to fragile beings with soap-soaked hands, careful not to pop their iridescent frames. Surface tension creates malice and discontent between creator and created. The omnipotent must take stock of every surrounding, every variable known to the universe. When humanity reaches a level unknown to the world of worlds, the bubble will disappear, like the bubble never existed. Without the load, the creator will cease to exist as well. Wow. And it's like about this, you know, whatever it is, like to whoever may read this, you know, it's like this omnipotent, right? This omnipotence, this energy is overwhelming in this kind of like is being overtaken and is being overwhelmed by the fact that there's just like this delicate bubble. And that's kind of what humanity feels like sometimes, is that we're this delicate bubble held up by this creation energy that's just holding us really, really softly, you know. Okay, this one's funny. Okay. The pentacle you'll die on. And it's meant to be a play on words about, is this the hill you want to die on? Like in an argument. And I put, is this the pentacle you want to die on? Is this the pentacle you want to die upon? A symbol so magical that it stands for many things in occultism, holding fast to beliefs manifested from within humid garages and forest clearings. Continue to rebel and make magic in bathtubs and messy kitchens. Forget hills. I ask again, is this the pentacle you want to die on forever and always? This was kind of a nod to my witchcraft, to be honest. A lot of these entries don't have much to do with my personal spirituality. The ones that were very that were geared to just me didn't make the cut in the series, but there was so much personality in this that it was more about like me fighting against the fact that what I identify with, I'm willing to keep at it. I'm willing to be what makes me me. And I just drew a pentacle on the ground, like we're ritualizing it. We're ritualizing that which is us, ourselves. But it's funny how I kind of put a play on words there. And see, with this one, I've got a lot, but you know, with the other books, I seem to have a lot of more figures, like humanoid figures. But with this one, I have a lot more landscapes involved. You know, like this one's like about the moons and about pulsating universe and things like that. So I've got more what seems like landscapes in this one. So that feels kind of cool. Sacred principles. Did I show y'all the shrine of the folds? Because remember back when I did a video talking about my shrines, right? Like where I hold my candles and I made them out of clay and things. And I said that they were kind of, I made them because I was in this shrine mindset. And I had gotten to a place where I wanted it to be a card. So let me get to it. I don't know. Yeah, Shrine of the Folds. To true be the shrines of folded paper, fortune tellers, swans, and airplanes. Light a candle for the intricate, contemplative measures, alcoves with ashes of past paper ventures, fleeting wonders designed to cast petitions held sacred, then let go in divine eradication. It's kind of like I got this paper swan inside of this shrine. It's like a shrine to the folds of the folded paper, you know. I like that one, but I skipped one to I skipped one. I like this image. I like this image. She is called the Shadow Spasm. Yeah, shake veils loose from heads rolling along floors of marble and dust. Hang flowers from horns grown from love upon temples. Mask shadows, black tulle. Itching soft skin rubbed raw from flagellation. Ecstatic spasms erupt goosebumps. Connect the dots to freckles that lead to dark hallways full of doors without knobs. Come on, focus. There we go. And there they are. This shadow spasm. I like that. I like the veil. You know, I like drawing veils or veiled coverings or like this kind of fabric. I'm not very good at drawing fabric, but I love to do it. This one's a bit more poetic. Sinuous orthodoxy. Curving practices, rules, and obligations. How dare you stand there with rippling muscle of religious relics held fast against the peoples. Dominion orbs hold sovereign power, cloaked in the mountainous terrain of spiritual authority, chapel dwelling. Chant names erased from junctures won. Who holds dominion over other worlds? That's like my decapitated Hierophant. Oh, it's my decapitated Hierophant. In a way. In a way. Let's see. What was the last one I picked? Temptation's Destruction. I like this one. I like this image. Look at this, like someone floating up this big pillar, you know. Oh, sorry, over here. Big pillar in the clouds, you know. And they're looking down. They're looking down into the sea of clouds down here. You can just imagine, like, when I drew this, I can just imagine it looking like this, like pink, like all these pinks and purples and stuff. Like this figure's looking down and it's like a whole bunch of golds and like golden rays and pinks and like this very cotton candy like sky, you know. But it's called Temptation's Destruction. Temptation, the original sin. When you ask someone, how do you get rid of temptation? What is the response? Maybe it's a vague statement of redirection. Maybe a deep thinker would say to rise above it. There may never be an answer. The question should not be how to overcome it. Maybe it should be what's the problem if I should want whatever it is. There may be a problem with it, and there may not be. As I guess to me, I always I always questioned original sin being temptation, because temptation to me is nuanced. And it's like, what if there wasn't an actual problem with you wanting something, just inadvertently? Maybe there's not a problem with it. But thinking about the actual thing that you're desiring, it's about like desire and stuff. And I think that I drew the figure ultimately rising above temptation, because that just seems to be everyone's go-to with an answer. But I still like the image. I do. I feel like this is me a lot of the times in my daydreaming world. Like I'm up in the clouds, literally on this like giant pillar that's looking down. And I can't see anything. I can't see like Earth. Maybe I get like, an opening every once in a while where I'll see some grass and fields and stuff. But other than that, not really, Okay, this one takes me back to childhood too. Taming the breathless. Heavy helmet meets depths unimaginable. Tame the delicate sensibilities of artificial lungs. Breathe fresh air from gear that has been broken by the tide. Seaweed wraps around booted feet, dangling through the underworlds and under oceans. Ocean floors are rarely seen. What if that wasn't the end? It's about discovery and how I love the fact that there's so much of the planet that we haven't discovered yet. It makes me really giddy to think that there's so much out there that no one even knows is there, especially in the oceans. Like that's one of the biggest things that, there's still so much of the oceans that we don't even know about. And I drew a little scuba diver for my symbol, I guess you could say, of discovery. It's nice. Some of these are so like terrifying. And Oracular Synthesis, book 2, it felt very heavy, right? But we were really in the throes of things then. And this one feels, I don't know, maybe a little bit more cynical, maybe a little bit more bitter, and a little bit more wanting the wonder and enchantment, but kind of like this internal notion of it being too late. That's kind of where this book makes me, like, now that I'm reading these out loud, like this vibe that I'm getting or something. Because like this is called Terror of Love. Is love still love while it suffers? It can be impatient and unkind. It breaks the hearts and suffers you when it outlasts that which is over, that which has ended. It is a hauntingly beautiful terror to endure, but endure we must. For this creature to call upon us, choosing us, how could we not heed the call? With many arms and many feet, a halo of pure white light around the head. Why shouldn't it touch us, even briefly? Spiked for the ones who would only think they want to taste, but are too terrified to take the first move. It's like a vision of what I think love would look like. This thorned, many-legged, many-armed figure. It's not, it's almost this relative thing that to love is a terrible thing, but it's also the best thing, and it's wrought with terrors and hurt and stuff like that. And it's like we keep going, we keep interacting with it, and it's like one of those, the greatest pains that you've ever felt, that you would do again. You would do it again. It's worth it, and it's about the terror of this creature, and this love being this terrifying egregore, but we still keep going to it. It's like the beast that's not really the beast, you know? And the beast that the some people would think is too scary to even, you know, oh, I'm not going over there. I'm not going over there. I'm not gonna mess with the beast. But then you realize that he's just like some fluffy, you know, Ludo friend thing over in the corner. So it becomes this like thorny, ugly beast thing that we can't help. The ones of us that know that love is like the best thing to happen to us, we can't help but befriend the beast that it is. I don't know. Does that make any sense? I should have made them have some fur. That might have made it look a little bit might have made it look a little bit beast-like, but I like, you know, I like it. It's stepping over and grabbing us like those gnarled tree branch things. I like it. Okay. Let me see if I've got one for the one of the bookmarks. Can't remember which ones are the bookmarks. I didn't, you know how like sometimes I made little, sometimes I use statues and things like that as reference materials. But some of these are so, they just came right out of the brain in like this foggy way, you know? Like, look at this one. Like, look at the Earth. Looks like something out of E.T. What is this called? Came from happiness. Here we go again. I can't seem to help myself in this book. Are we born from happiness? A fleeting smile and caress from the divinity who saw it worthwhile to make me, you, one night of unaltered weakness, one night of many, from whoever conjured love and dopamine from the bowels of unconscious lust. Am I, are you, the byproduct of just one emotion or many? Earth opens its doors and a ramp descends, covering evolution with smoke from engines unseen. The bounds of creations are wrapped and sensitively dressed. Like, can you, what's in there? Like, that's what I wanted to know, you know, like, what is in there? Like, what is in here? I can just imagine this like light, you know, kind of like E.T. You imagine this falling open and this huge light emits from this thing. And then there's like all this smoke rising in the bottom of this, like, you know, very sci-fi, close encounters. And I don't know. I went sci-fi with this. Like if the earth opened up, you know, and we were born from it. Like Alan Watts used, you know, he would say that we come out of the earth like a wave, right? Like a wave isn't born, and it's just kind of doing what it's supposed to do, and it comes out of the ocean like that, like a wave. It just does. I guess he was trying to say that like humanity is like that. Like we don't come from anything. We're not. I'm not explaining it right. But whatever. Dylan. Now that makes me sad though. But thinking about it is healthy, I guess. Knowing where you are and where you want to be. And see, now I've got like claws of dependency, you know, like some of these are so harsh. Like, why are they so harsh? I'm stuck here, stuck between you and the world. Your fingers lightly tickle up my abdomen. I drool from hunger and seethe that you make me starve. Slack-jawed, I wait for the claws to rip through the flesh that rips up my sternum. It's slow. My heart is beating a slow rhythm as the nails shred through skin and muscle. The only way out is through. I'll go through my opening, my wounds, to find new light that doesn't come from your eyes. Ooh. Talking about dependency there. That's a little harsh. It can be. I don't want to say that it's actually harsh. It's just it can be. Oh, look at this one. This one's the Codex Praxis, but it looks like what is that? The handy dandy notebook from Blue's Clues. This is about the importance of the notebook. For my contortionist. You break bones in order to fit in. I saw the list of rules you conform to. How many is that now? How much of your excrement is in this elusive box? Who waves at you from the outside, telling you are worthy? In a box, broken and alone, covered in vile themness? What made you think they would accept you in a box with broken bones, covered in excrement? Get out. Get out. Get out. So it's the box of conformity. I'm pretty sure the proportions of these people are really off, but yeah, well, I don't like really care. Right? My kids used to love that show. Crone of Torment. Let me see. Dance of Death. This is going to be under, like, in the Amazon listing. Okay, like there's this they call it A+ content, where you can put it. Usually, it's for places for publishers to put pictures, like down in the bottom, like right before the reviews and things. But I always put my own pictures there to, I guess, showcase what like an example page looks like. And this is the one I chose for the A+ content, because it has to be like long and skinny so that it can go through all of the pictures that I have to post. But this one's called The Darkest of All Light. And it's about having this hole inside of you, and how when you have a hole inside of you, there's only so much you can do to find that light. You know, it's kind of like Hate's barrel. When we're riddled from the holes of life, right? Like life gets us down. We're riddled with a hole in the heart from past loves that didn't work out. We're riddled with holes of hate that's, someone else, or we do it to ourselves. We're riddled with like these holes, and it's about like, how are we fixing ourselves, And the darkness of all light. I wrote, the darkest of all light is that which hasn't been lit. Pockets or cavernous voids cover the makeup of being. This infinitesimal darkness needs the counterpart of light. Maybe this is an inner light, drowning out the unnecessary shadows. Have you burned that candle? Have you extinguished it prematurely? And it's like the candle's not lit, You have to light it with something. But then we also have to deal with the fact that we have things that we have to fix about ourselves. Oh, this one's one of the bookmarks that's available in the bookmark page. Kind of nice. Kind of weird. What is this called? The Devourer of Essence. A gaping maw ingest essence. Suck up the light from dirty floors. Bite hands behind backs. Chomp on tough skins ripping. Soak up the taste buds alive on tongues. Be careful of the beast that wants the core parts of you to not see the light. See? Still about finding the light, right? I guess we're finding out ourselves, and we're finding out how to heal ourselves, right? Yes. Yes. Right. And it's like, that's just it. You know, like are we band-aiding ourselves? Right. And it's a journey in and of itself to find out what will actually fix us in the long run. You know, like, what are the actual healers? Right. Like for me, actually, witchcraft healed so much of me just by being that, just by having it as an identity, as something I identify with, right? It healed me. It's like, what saves your life every day are, you know, the words that you write down in your journal, the dreams that you had, you know. Oh my gosh, Ange, it's so funny, okay, that you said duct tape, because I just made a video yesterday that I'm going to post, I don't know, next week sometime. I came up with I'm doing a new tarot thing called Tarot as Everyday Objects, and I picked duct tape for strength, and I laughed out loud about it because I thought, how perfect is duct tape for strength? So you just had me, fucking thinking about that. Yeah. Duct tape. Yep. And some of these feel so, like I said, I think some of these feel so raw, you know, and so heavy. Like, look at this one. This one looks really ugly. It's called Enchanted Pheromones. Lick it up. Lick the lichened organism. Certain things in life have a distinct smell, taste, sensory profits. Primal urges are driven by these pheromones. It is a spilled bottle of obsession and chemical love. Soak it up. Tongue as a sponge. That looks really harsh. And I do have quite a few in here about pain. Actually, I showed this one to my son. He's 15, and he didn't want me to put this one in the book. He did not. He was like, "Mom, no, don't put that in there." And I did anyway. So maybe I shouldn't have, but he really didn't like it. He thought that the image was too harsh for like a book. Like he was like, just don't put that in there. But I did anyway. And I don't know, maybe lesson learned, right? But it's called Fear's Control. Fear sets its sight on us, drawing us into the darkness. Hook set, splashing us with freezing indecision as it thrashes towards our face. Pow! It hooks. Its hook is in you. Oh. No, not really. Okay. It's about the fact that, like, he cringed when he saw it. Okay. He cringed when he saw it. And I wanted it to be harsh because it's called Fear's Control, right? It's like the control that fear has on you. Like when you're completely frightened of something, it's this really harsh feeling that you're powerless to it. And so I'm going to show you, but just know that, like, if my 15-year-old cringed, it probably is. I mean, cringe words, but it may not be that bad to some people. But literally, it's a hook in the face. My poor boy. Like, and he's usually not sensitive about stuff like this, but he saw it and he thought that it was too, he was like, golly, no. And I was like, well, I don't have any like blood dripping on it or anything. He was like, thank you. I was like, some of these I put like blood dripping and oozing, like the pheromones. I've got like, you can tell that tongue lapping those pheromones up. You can tell that stuff is like potentially hazardous, biohazardous waste, you know, like I showed him some of the other ones. He was like, well, that's not that bad, but this one just feels like in your face. Oh, you know, exactly. And fear is the cringe, you know, the fact that he cringed at it is the fear. I don't know. I thought it, and see, that's the thing about having these images like this, is that I want it to feel like what the message is portraying. I don't, it's very symbolic, right? Because they're oracles. When you reach an image, you want to be able to feel the image just as much as the message. And, you know, ooh, it's not a bad idea, Dylan. Do a gory version, like Synthesis Horror Edition. I have a thing about drawing it like that, like oozing. Like, do we have, I think we've got some oozing in some of the other ones, you know? I mean, we've got some, you guys, I really love the images of Oracular Synthesis. The book too, I really love it. Well, I mean, I've got the Decay's poison, but that doesn't look, I mean, like I've got snot dripping out of this, you know, this was in book 2. I mean, you got snot coming out of this person's mouth. I like drippage. I know that sounds kind of gross. And like, you know, disembodied sludgy stuff, right? You know, like I like that stuff. Symbolic. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. See, a lot about conformity too, you know, like humanity taking over in this kind of like weird formation way. Like, look at this one, like this big cloaked, this could be like this concrete figure, big towering apocalyptic dystopian figure, and somebody's riding the ladder, or, you know, climbing the ladder up to what? To get on the inside of this. I didn't even know what this was, but it's called Forged in Complacency. A towering figure forged in complacency. A ladder draws you up into the yawning abyss, hiding what may lurk up those iron steps. You follow the path much like everyone else. You scarcely miss the flames flicking from the figure's feet. You're hot and uncomfortable. You want nothing more than to climb. So when you get to the top, you can jump just to feel the wind on your face, no matter how it will fare. So like he's been standing in line, right, on this path, and then there's fire, and he's hot and uncomfortable. And so he's just going to climb up here and then jump off just to feel the wind in his face. It's not exactly happy either. Oh, it could be. It could be a spinal cord. I like that. How it could, you know, it kind of looks like a spinal cord. I could see that now. And I do like giants. I have a thing about giants, you know. I think, where is my giant shoulder? I think that's in book 1. Giant shoulder. Yeah, here, book 1. It's like one of the very first images I ever drew. A giant shoulder. You know, I love giants. Got a ladder too. I mean, I love this kind of like, if you were to like go on my Pinterest page, there's so much about like these little bitty figures and these giant, statues or animals or beast or something, and it's like this beast versus man. Like for some reason, I'm always posting those images on there, and uh, uh, liking and putting those images on my feed. Like I don't even know why. There's something about the giant versus our humanity, the smallness of humanity. Not a bad idea. Dylan, you're always giving me ideas for videos. Like I'm gonna have to start writing them down as you comment them, because you're like I'm already working on videos you were already telling me to do before. That'd be nice. I do want to see that movie too. Like is that Scandinavian movie? What movie is that? It's called Trolls, where those giants live in the mountains, which in terms of like the folklore they do, that's like where they are. They're in the hills over there, in those like one of the vast amounts of land. Was it good? Did you see it? I've been wanting to see it because like I said, I have been thinking about like the giant folklore. Yeah, he really is. Well, it's because like I'll make a video and then Dylan will comment and he'll say, "Oh, this was so cool," and then talk a little bit about the thing, and then at the very end of his comment, he'll say, "You should make a video about blah 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 blah." And I'm like, I didn't even think about that. Oh. Oh, if it's gonna make me cry, I don't know about that. I mean, not that I don't want to watch videos like that. It's not that I don't want to watch videos like that. I just don't like them to be sad. Like, if it's like a movie that like is sad from good sadness, like heartfelt, like the mount they all live in the end. All the giants live, okay, and they have to go back into the mountain. They're like there's this giant spell that they do, and they sink back into the mountain, forever in the folklore, forever in myth, never gone but never forgotten. But if like they're all dying from like these satellite guns, no. Mm-mm. I don't know if I can deal with all that. It's like that movie Arrival, Ugh. I don't know all of that. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. A little mystery, like we don't know. Like The Friend. Like I said, I think I always thought that somebody in that movie would be friends with the giant in a kind of a weird way, like BFG style. Is that not how it goes? Well, BFG, she goes back to her town, or back to her life, but he's gone. BFG is gone. Same thing, same concept. They live forever in our hearts, Mm. All right, now I'm going to give y'all I've got two more I wanted to share, and then I'll probably get off of here. I want y'all to tell me which one y'all want to hear first. The Mother's Emanation, which is about the mother's vanity, or the Saint of Reticence. What about saints in here? Why do I have two things about saints? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Exactly. But you're also so personable, Ange, you know? You know, so many of us oddballs and weirdballs, you know, we don't always like you have, you know, like the lives that you've like you're just doing, like the tarot ethics. Like I didn't even know half those channels existed. And I felt bad. I was like, how do I not know about these people? And so like you just have like you always know about the up and coming people. You know, I know that you do try to share on your community tab. The new people that like you find. I love that that you share them because otherwise I wouldn't know. And I'm not really in. I don't like search tarot stuff out. I don't even search witchy stuff out really. But it's like you know so many people. You're so personable. I really liked what you did with the tarot ethics, though. Those were some really good conversations about like what people do and what they think is important when giving readings, how to do it ethically. You know, some of them even had contracts, which is something that when I thought about that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah. They brought up a lot of stuff. So a lot of good stuff. Yeah, a personable weirdo. That's how I feel, you know. Um, you know, just to kind of, you know, end this a little bit, just to kind of wind down for a minute. This weekend marks 5 years I've been on YouTube. Five years. Oh, that's a lot. I feel so. I feel like such a weirdo sometimes on my channel because I feel so alone sometimes. Uh, you know, I don't get together with many other creators, and um, I try to watch as much as I can with other people. Like, you know, watching your lives, watching other people get together with other people. Um, I try to watch what I can when I can, or watch it back. And I try to be personable, but then sometimes I just get so I'll watch as much as I can, then get kind of overwhelmed, and then not end up commenting. And then I feel bad, and then I try to go back and comment when I can. But then it's like nobody even knows I'm on their videos sometimes, and or in their lives. I just kind of lurk, and I need to become more personal because I want to be able to have more conversations with actually like with people about what I you know what we're all talking about. Especially the important conversations, you know. But I'm kind of gonna go over this. I'm trying to make a channelversary video about like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Uh, like how it feels to have a channel to have had a channel for that long, and people coming and going, and like it's hard to tell someone in it, like it's hard to tone yourself out, okay? Because like in the video that I filmed the other day that I really tweaked to the point of exhaustion, and it didn't come out right, so I'll probably have to redo it. I kind of got petty about a couple of things, and not because I'm petty about numbers or anything like that. It's just like in the last 2 years my channel seems to have plateaued in subscriber count, and like I post about what 2 videos a week, and it kind of seems like when I'm not growing anymore, that it's like, okay, you know, there's a lot of new people out, there's a lot of, you know, new conversations happening, and you know, with my channel having plateaued, it's just feeling like nobody else in the community that's not already subscribed to me want to get to know me. And so it can be kind of disheartening sometimes to have a channel because you keep putting out content that you love and stuff like that. And I kind of get a little raw. I really got raw in that video, and I want to have the courage enough to post it, but I'm really not trying to like be, I don't know, what do you call it? Petty or drama ridden, but sometimes it's hard, and having a channel, I love doing it. I love doing this. And I'm so happy that 2024, see, before this year, I didn't ever go live. Like maybe I went live on other people's that asked me over or something. That happened like maybe 2 or 3 times, but I was never like actually live on my channel. So when I vowed to, be live, I come on. And now it's kind of hard sometimes because I know sometimes, excuse me, like I'll go live and there'll be nobody in the studio with me for a long time. And so it's kind of like I'm talking to the silence, and stuff like that can be hard too. When I don't have, like when I push the live button, like I kind of, sometimes you expect people like 10 to 15 people to come, and then they don't. You're like, oh, okay, I guess every single body in my community is busy today. And so, yeah, like you're saying, and there's waves, and it kind of feels like there's a flux of what your channel's, what you're doing, what the channel is doing, like overall as like its own entity, Yeah. And I'm so glad that you asked me to come on, because I would just come on. I mean, like, we don't have to talk about any of my stuff if you didn't want to. We could just talk if if that was a thing you wanted to do. I'm glad you asked. Sometimes I wonder why nobody asked me, like, to be part of a panel, or, hey, let's talk about this, let's talk about that. So I feel so blessed that you even want to talk to me on your channel. Yeah, yeah. Is that going to be like, yeah, like where you just hang out and you'll have like maybe like a soft topic, like that sounds cool. Because then it's like, we can, like, we're still going to talk about stuff that we love, like tarot and stuff. But then it's also a way for us to get to know each other outside of those genres too, in a way, and become like actual friends. I guess. I mean, I feel like y'all are my friends. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't really want to stop going live, Now, I did like in the beginning of the year, I thought, okay, well, in February, because that's my birthday month, in February 2024, I went live for like a birthday, and I thought that it was going to be like this cool celebration, that all my peeps would come, and I had like kind of like today, like 3 or 4 people max that day, and people would come and people would go, and I would have like maybe 4 people max that day. And it felt really weird because I thought that, when you compare yourself to other channels, you're like, oh, well, 20 people came into their live. So where's all those people at? So going live is always really nerve-wracking for me because I don't ever want to feel like I'm talking to the void. Like if no one's like y'all are actually talking to me, but if there were like 3 people in here that weren't talking, they were just kind of listening to what I had to say, then I feel like I would have to have an actual topic. So that's why when I've gone live every time else, I've had like an actual something to talk about, like a deck or one of my books. Now I had gotten into the habit of every book that came out doing a live where I would just talk about the book itself that it was coming out. Now I might not do that in 2025 because I've got 4 books coming out in 2025. Pretty consistently. So I've got Carpe Magica is coming out in February, and then I'll have another book coming out in May. And the one coming out in May I might send to a publisher. So I don't know. And then I've got a couple more coming out October and November. So I've got four books coming out in 2025. I don't know if I'll do a live for those. I don't know. I don't know about readings. Well, I've never done them for anybody else, you know? Like sometimes randomly my sister will call me and ask me for a reading. She'll just like call me and be like, "Can you pull cards for me?" That's about the extent of it. And so I'm kind of not scared. Not scared. Some people have asked me, like, because I do Thought Thursdays, a lot of people have actually emailed me over the years and asked me to if I would give them a Thoth reading. I have thought about it because I know Thoth so well. Well, I feel like I know it so well that I probably would be pretty good at doing readings like with Thoth for other people. But I would have to, kind of like y'all were talking about, okay, kind of like y'all were talking about the ethics, I would have to come up with what I feel, you know, what I would feel, what I wouldn't and would do, you know, like would I do love readings? How deep into love readings? What, you know, I'm not going to consider someone that's not with me, you know, like I'm not going to give you a reading about someone else, right? Stuff like that. I would have to come up with my own ethics on that since I've never done it before. But what video? You know, and when I showed that deck off, I was kind of scared to tell people that there was a controversial card because, I mean, I know you asked Dylan. I mean, you're okay. I know you're not going to like judge me. But some, you know, other people asked me like, "Oh, I want to know what the controversial card is." And I got a little scared to tell them because, you know, like I don't know you. Like I don't really know how you're going to take this controversial card. So I was actually kind of scared to tell people. I probably shouldn't have said that there was a controversial card in the deck, but the Aquarius in me likes what others don't. It has nothing to do with like my values or my principles, or my choices in life. Yeah, that was the card that it had a huge, you know, controversy around it. But the fact that there was a controversy around it was probably the reason I bought it. And I made mention of that in the video. And I'm sure that like made people roll their eyes. But I know one time I was in a secondhand store and there was this poop brown scarf, okay, that was kind of fuzzy. So it looked like a fuzzy long turd. And it had colorful rainbow ribbons tied in all these random places on it. So it looked like a long fuzzy turd with sprinkles on it, right? And I loved that thing. It was comfortable as ever. Okay. It was the most comfortable scarf I'd ever put on. And my mom was like, "That is ugly." And I was like, "I love it. I love it." And she always used to tell me that was the Aquarius in me. God, my eye itches today. Oh, my mom used to tell me that that's what the Aquarius in me doesn't care about stuff like that. It's like it makes it even better for you when someone says it's ugly. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. God, I was a young teenager when I bought it. Me and my mom used to like we would go with thrifting was our thing. Me and her would. My sister went to the skate rink almost every Friday when we were teenagers, and we would drop her off at the skating rink, and then me and mom would go thrifting to like the Goodwills and the secondhand store. But it really was ugly. But I loved it because it was ugly and it was comfortable. And it's more about like the fact that I'm more comfort over anything else. That scarf would have looked really good with what I bought. I just look like a turd suit. I was never, oh my gosh, my sister was so good at rollerblading. No, roller skating. four wheels. So roller skating. She was so good. Her and her boyfriend at the time did competitions. Oh, that boy got on my nerves. Oh my God. I did not like that boy. Did not like him. Water under the bridge now. Don't know I don't know anything about him now. But God, he got on my nerves. But yeah, they used to do competitions. But no, none of us. My kids go skating now. With my mom. Actually, my mom takes them. Like they have a thing on Wednesdays at the skating rink around the corner, and my oldest still does it. He's been doing it for years. But he rollerblades. He's pretty fast too. So, and my sister's kids, they all skate. Like they all love it. No, my sister doesn't skate anymore. She said she's gotten too old. She's gotten too old to do it. It's so weird that you say that, Dylan. Okay. I like the color mustard, but yellow is my unlucky color. Every single time I've worn the color yellow in any shade, something bad has happened to me. And bad things happened to me before I was even really superstitious about the color. And then I would think, no, it's not the color it's not the color. And then I would start wearing the color more. I even like recently, a couple years ago, before I had the baby, I bought a yellow dress, wore that thing, something bad happened. And I mean like bad, like, like the gas getting cut off because you missed a payment. Something like that, right? Car accident, breaking a toe, like bad things happen when I wear yellow. So it's not that the color is bad because I love the color. But woo, it has become my unlucky color. I know it does suck. Oh, hey, Sonia. We are. I don't know how we got on to turd scarves, but yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the yellow god would have against me though. The mustard gods. It's kind of synchronistic because I just, how like you don't go to the store for mustard and ketchup that much. It's like one of those things. It's like every so often you're out of it. I just put mustard on the list for my husband, like him and the baby went to the store, right? And I put mustard on the list. Like it's very synchronistic, this mustard conversation. Yeah, I know. Like, and the other night, my husband he likes to experiment. He's like a chef, right? He cooks, and we had chicken for dinner. Okay. Seasoned chicken. You put it in the skillet, you season it, and you cook it, right? In oil. And we were making these like chicken breast meal. Okay. And then I got up the next morning, and sometime between me going to bed and me waking up, he had done something to the dish on the stove. And there was rice and chicken and peppers and things like that in it. Okay. But the whole thing looked fluorescent yellow. The entire dish of food was like fluorescent. And I thought, what the hell did he do to this? And when he called me at lunch that day, on his lunch break, he called and I said, what did you do to this? Like, what could you possibly have done to make this look like you dumped highlighters on it? And he said, I thought that I would add some turmeric, because, it's good for you. And I thought that I would just like add it as a season. Like I put some, because I like my stuff pretty bland in terms of seasons, like garlic and salt and pepper. I'm pretty, maybe some paprika. That's it. But he likes to really experiment. And so he was experimenting with seasonings and dumped turmeric in there. And then like the whole, swear to God, it looked like he dumped highlighters into his chicken and rice and pepper dish. Like, so nasty. Yeah, like all I'm gonna get out a yellow deck, a yellow deck. What's my yellow deck? Probably my Centennial Rider-Waite, right? Something that's got a lot of yellows in it. I don't have a lot of decks anymore. Yeah. Like I might not be able to wear yellow anymore, but I can do a mustard meditation. I can do why is yellow such a dominant color right now? I'm thinking lemonades, mustard. Now, because of the turd scarf, I'm thinking about yellow colored poop. I'm like, let's not get into that. So it's like, we could possibly do a tarot reading, like later on. Like, obviously the color yellow is dominating right now, right? And so it's like, we've got to ask ourselves, why? Let me move this. There we go. Of the dish? No, I'm telling you, it looked very inedible. Okay. It looked like you got something from like this chicken and rice dish that you would get from like a gas station, not like like a QT gas station, like a good gas station. And like, look, don't order food from a gas station, please. But it looked like a bad burrito. But it's just turmeric, right? It just looked bad. And turmeric does sometimes, depending on what it is, it's got a good flavor to it. But I swear it looked so yellow. And it stained my dish, like my pot, because I've got this kind of ceramic, like a Dutch oven. It stained it. I had to let that damn thing soak. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this thing's going to be yellow for a month. It's going to be one of those like temporary hair dyes. You have to like, no matter how much you wash it, it's still going to take a month to get out. Right. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go back to that. Yeah. I don't even use highlighters. They're like too neon, Like when I want to highlight in a book, I use a crayon. Like when I want to highlight something, I use a color pencil or a yellow crayon. Plus, they don't bleed through. That's why, that's why I do that. They won't even bleed. Especially those books you can get now. They're so cheap. The paper is so thin. Anyway. Okay. There are some fast foods out there that a lot of people, it's like different one for different people. Like I know someone in my family is not Arby's, Crystals, like the Crystals burgers. Like they've got to be eating that on the toilet. Yeah, Taco Bell's fine for me. Okay, but we really got off topic though. Okay. To round this out, and I'm probably gonna have to get off of here, because they'll be coming back from the store soon. But yeah, like I can't believe it, and I wanna come on and do a live, okay, talking about the books that I have coming out, because Carpe Magica is technically like this fun Seize the Magic poetry and message book. And then And then this one just came out. That one's coming out. I'm hoping that to come out just to be like a birthday release, Carpe Magica. But then the other 4 that I have coming out, I've like separated them. I've got a calendar over here. I've kind of separated them out into like when they need to come out. I don't know. I've got a lot of stuff happening right now, but I want people to be able to come to the live. I don't know how to get people to come to the live. Like I thought that while using StreamYard, they kind of plug it to YouTube so people can hit the notify me button. But then, like I said, I mean, there's a few of you in here. So, I mean, which is great, but it's like, I don't know how often am I supposed to tell people that I've got a live for them to like know about it? I don't even know how to do that. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing wrong if I am. And that's the whole point. So, yeah. If y'all can think of anything that I can be doing better in terms of like going live and stuff like that, then y'all can let me know. Because seriously, I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong. But I do want to do more lives in the future. I got my last live of the year is Women Who Run with the Wolves. My last ever. We're finishing the book. That'll be on the like 29th, I think. And I'll officially can say that I've read it cover to cover, and I'm so proud of myself. Really. So I'll be on then, right before New Year's. And that'll take care of that book. So, I mean, I won't have lives for the book club next year, but I want to do some lives for like my books and maybe get on. I'd like to do more chill lives, but I just don't know because nobody really, not many people come to my lives. But like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing wrong with that, but not a lot of people come. So there's not a lot of dialogue, like I don't get where we're like all hanging out, like 10, 15, 20 of us. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So you just hit the notify me button. Yeah. I mean, that's all I thought to do was just to say, hey, tell people this, tell people, no, I do. And I like it. I like that we are able to talk, but when, with other, like with so many other people, kind of like on y'all's channels, like on your channel, Ange, I mean, I know you have like 10 people in there, and it's like we can have a whole bunch of conversations with a whole bunch of people. And y'all are always on my lives. Y'all are my loyalists. Y'all are my loyal friends. I just didn't know if I was doing anything wrong about promoting. That was it. I know, right? I know. I can't ever figure algorithm stuff out. And I really do appreciate you. And Sonia, you're a loyalist too, Sonia. You're always, commenting and stuff like that. So y'all 3 are like my loyalist people. My loyal friends. No, and I really do appreciate y'all. I do. And it's not that like more people make it better. I just like I was saying before, my channel seems to have kind of plateaued. So I don't know if that's like where my notification is just like buried in people's feeds and stuff. Like, I don't even know. So, no, you're not boring, Dylan. You're not. And see, like I was saying before, it's so weird to like talk about this because I don't want to hurt your feelings, Like, where's everybody else? Like that's not what I'm trying to say. Really, it's not. I just can't ever seem to figure out the algorithm or how things work or if I'm doing things right, But whatever. Well, thank you. Thank you to my loyalists here. I know. Well, it's really, when they say YouTube on easy mode, I don't know what they mean. Like, do they mean like, I mean, it's pretty easy to like pop open a camera, film something. Maybe you edit it, maybe you don't, and you just post it on your channel. That's pretty easy, you know? But knowing how to do thumbnails right and how long to make your videos to where people will actually watch the whole thing, I'm not good at that because I just talk about stuff and then when I end, I end. And my editing software kind of, I don't want it, don't glitch out on me, okay? I'm talking to the little icon over here. Don't glitch out on me, but sometimes my editing software sucks. So I have to really work on that, on my editing. And yeah, so it's like, it can be hard. Editing takes me forever. Yeah. Oh, I guess, yeah. And see, that kind of, okay, look, in some kind of backhanded way, comments like that, when people come on their feed and say, oh, I'm going to be authentic and everything, it kind of feels like a slap in the face to me, to be honest. Because I'm like, I've been authentic since day one, you know? What are you talking about? It kind of feels like when people say, I'm going to do it this way, I'm going to do it that way. It's like, hell, I've been doing it that way. I don't have any new subscribers to my channel. Shit. You know, I've gotten no growth, right? And I'm still human. Like when you see the growth, even if it's small, right? Like one of those, like where it goes like this, you know, like you're like kind of steady, right? Feels nice. It feels like, oh yeah, I want to keep doing this. It's fun. But I don't know. It kind of, sometimes it feels like when people will make a point to come on and say something like, I'm going to be authentic now and I'm not going to work for the algorithm. I'm like, I've never done that. So I don't know any secret. Oh, yeah. But see, look, Sonia, that's one thing about, look, I don't, when I see stuff like that, sometimes it really, because I'm human, sometimes it bothers me. Sometimes I'm like, God, like that feels heavy handed, you know, when someone with 50K will say, I'm going to be authentic. Well, it's easy for you to say that when you already have the following. um, but yeah, like you, nothing that's happened or nothing that anyone has said has made me want to quit. You know, like I don't want to quit it. I still thoroughly, really, really enjoy doing it. I really enjoy popping my phone on, making a video, and putting it to the internet, you know, in some strange way. I really enjoy it. I actually enjoy it. And oh, okay, I get it now. YouTube easy mode, like you're just making a video, you're not editing it, and you're just making it and uploading it, and bam. Okay, I get it now. Yeah. Now I edit all mine because I end up sneezing or having to blow my nose, or like now I really have to blow my nose. Um, or you know, one of my kids talks to me and I'll be talking to them about, like, they'll come around the corner and say, hey, can I get this? Hey, can I do this? And I'm like, oh, I'm filming. And they're like, oh, I forgot. You know? And so I kind of edit that out sometimes. So it's like sometimes my kids will holler at me from the back of the house, and I'm like, so yeah, like I pretty much edit only that kind of stuff out. And then like the pauses in between, especially if I'm doing something and I've got notes, well, almost especially if I've got notes. I don't like to I don't like the videos that appear to like I'm just doing like this. So I try to edit out if I happen to look down I have my notes or something. I mean, I've had to grapple with what authenticity means too. You know, like for me, quality doesn't mean authenticity, not all the time. Because sometimes I can be authentic, but the quality of my video sucks. Like I'll be on the back deck and it'll be dark outside. Sometimes the audio messes up in my videos. Um, like so not, sometimes the quality in my videos is really bad. And the algorithm doesn't like that. The algorithm does not like those videos that aren't looking perfect. So, I mean, I know that. But, and it's like, what is it? I have to really grapple with what authenticity means. And I have to grapple with what that means for me, in terms of just my channel, just me and what I want to do. But then also the collective in terms of community, Yeah, and there's been a couple of people that have made videos about this, about their thoughts about it. Now, some of them have gotten annihilated. Some of them have gotten some very rude and mean comments when they post their opinions about something. Um, Now, I don't always think that putting the tea out is you being authentic either. You can be saying some very heartfelt from the heart places, um, and maybe it starts sounding like spilling the tea, but sometimes it's just really your thoughts about stuff. And I think that it can be a mixture of both, really. But oh, well, I never see if I was and see, Dylan was just saying like create a persona, but it's hard. Okay, it's one of those personas, like masks that you would wear, is hard to keep up with. It's like a lie. Okay, and it would just snowball into something that you might not be able to maintain. um and that's my opinion. Okay, like a mask that I would wear would start to feel really heavy, and before I knew it, it's really hard to not let that mask overtake. So like The Mask, the movie, it's really hard for that thing not to just take over. So that's what I would be scared of. In my very first video that I ever posted, I when I went back and like listened to it, right? And it sounds like my voice is different. And I thought, and it's just for that one video. And I thought, why am I talking like this? It's not how I talk, right? And then when I shared it with my husband, and he said, well, it sounds like you're trying too hard. And I thought, okay, well, can I just, talk normal? Like I'm asking, can I just talk normal? And he was like, yeah, I think you should, you know? And then from that point on, I just kind of talked like this. Like I couldn't find a way to do it that wasn't my own voice and that wasn't my own opinions and things. So I can't fake a smile either. My husband wheedled that out of me. When I met him, I was, well, no, okay. He was hilarious when we were teenagers, okay, to everyone but me. I did not find him funny. Okay. And it was more like I found him very crude and obnoxious. Okay. I mean, he was a teenage boy for freak's sake. But thought he was annoying. And he would make these little jokes and stuff. And I would go like this. Like, okay. And eventually he was like, no, if it's not funny to you, don't even laugh. And then over the years, and then our friendship grew, that got out of me. I stopped fake smiling at him because he was like, that just looks rude. Don't do that. It basically, like he was telling me it hurt his feelings. Like, if it's not funny, just don't laugh. So yeah. Look, it's hard though too. Like, like Dylan, when you're saying like not letting it influence you, it's really hard not to let it influence you, because sometimes like sometimes I'll get frustrated about something about YouTube that's going on with my, like, my channel, or something that relates to my channel. I'll rant and rave about it to my family or whatever, and I'll kind of bring it up at dinner, and they're like, right? But it's hard for it not to take over in a way that feels like a very involved hobby. Okay. Like this being a passion project for me, it feels so hard for me because it is such an involved hobby, right? I'm like so involved with my channel that when something happens that makes me feel really insignificant and really small, and like I'm not liked, like I'm not, getting any new people, right? Like whatever the case is, I'm like, wow, like I really thought that this was cool, and like 50, I only have 50 views on it. Like, I don't understand why nobody else likes this. And my husband will be like, okay, you're still a small channel, like, and we'll have to talk about, we'll have to talk through it. And it can influence us in ways that we don't even really know. And it's kind of like taking work home, because I'm so involved with this being a hobby, it can start to feel like part of, it becomes part of your life then. And I have to, like we have to get to a place where the passion, I have to stay within a place that the passion for this endeavor, this hobby, stays above whatever the problem and issue would be. And like I said, nothing that's ever happened to me on YouTube has made me want to quit. So, which is good. Yeah, and they really are. Our channels are part of us. It's and what we give to it. I give a lot to my channel. Oh, I feel like I do. I feel like I give a lot to my channel. And I try to change things up when I can, and try to do, come up with things that would now another thing about this being, like my channel, my hobby and things, I don't involve the community as much as I would like to. Like sometimes I'll post a video and it's just me posting a video, right? And there's not a lot of what do you call it, call to action at the end, right? It's just someone saying, hey, I liked this, I enjoyed this, blah blah blah. But I'd like to, I guess that could be like more tags, more actual call to action things that my channel could involve. That's a way to bring the community in. I'd like to feel a little bit more part of the community, but I haven't ever gotten down to what that could mean for me and how I could let myself become a part of the community in a way that would also make me feel a little bit more part of the community. So like being more involved in tags and making things that would actually have call to actions, like that I don't know, those are good things, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Now I vowed um a long time ago to keep my family, and so many people post pictures with their families, and that's fine, But I vowed when my very first son was born that I wouldn't post pictures of them online. And I didn't. So we never really had, like, I never really had like a Facebook. If people wanted pictures of my kids, they could like contact me and I would send them a picture via a text or something like that. But never really did anything like that. And then when I started a channel, it became even more severe for me because I was like, y'all won't ever see my kids' face. Like, you won't see their faces. And it's not because they're not a part of my life. It's just because there's such a vastness to the internet that scares and should probably scare the living hell out of us, you know? I don't know. Those are good ideas because you're right. Some of us don't. So many times I get on your lives or I get on someone else's live and I just lurk. And I don't find sometimes I'm not lurking to just lurk. Sometimes I really don't really have much to say, you know, but because someone else is saying something or there's another conversation happening that has really nothing to do with whatever they're talking about in the live. And I don't really want to have multiple conversations. I can't really keep up with that. So, or sometimes I'm really busy and I'm not like in a position to actually comment. I've just got the live going on my phone. So I really want to get better, like you're saying, about like really jumping in, you know, and maybe making it a point for this because I want to become more involved in these ways. I want to be able to get more to be together with the community a little bit more because it's a community, right? And I want to feel like that. And to feel like that, I'm going to have to to open myself up in more ways than, you know, join in and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I listen so much to the lives or get on people's videos and things like that. And I want to keep doing that. But, you know, just telling people I'm there, sometimes I'm late, you know, something like that. But kind of like, you know, Sonia, not to call you out, Sonia. Okay. I'm not calling you out, but you made it known that you came, you know, that's something I could do, you know, like, hey, lurking in the background, but I'm here, you know, I definitely need to get better at that. Just telling people I'm there, you know, like, hey, supporting you, peace, you know. So yeah, and there are. I mean, I like watching. I like watching, but and I've said this before that there's so many times that I am lurking and or am watching and nobody even knows I'm there. So it might be beneficial for people to get to know me and for me to be more involved in the community when I can just throw my hand up and be like, hey, kind of working, but you know, I'm working or, you know, whatever, but I'm here and I'm supporting you or whatever you could say. And then there's like no real pressure for you to talk, but people, you know, people know that you've been there and people know that you're supporting them and that, you know, you like them. I don't know. Like we all want to be liked, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to get better about saying hi. Oh, and like, you know, I mean, because it's like, wouldn't people like that? Wouldn't people like to know who's there and who's, you know, just throwing their hand up and stuff? I mean, I think that's, you know, yeah. So these are some aspirations for 2025 for sure. Like I'm going to start writing this stuff down in my journal and think about really what I want to do. So But yeah. Well, I'm so happy that I was on and we just like talked about, you know, we kind of like, woo. But anyway, so yeah, so Fortune's Coalescence is out now. That completes the whole series. And I will see everybody really soon. Okay. Enjoy your meal. Hopefully it doesn't involve mustard. But, or maybe it does. Mustard is delicious. So I will see y'all really soon. And I will put the links, some links in the description box below. I will put in the chat just for anyone that needs it. I'll put the book link. You can, this is a direct link to buy the book if you want. And any other links will always be in my description boxes of my lives. So, you know, always go check out my link tree for all of my endeavors. So, all right. Thank you so much.